Good morning. With working at the flower shop and uh, internet problems and whatnot, I'm a little behind on my daily devotionals. Um, I actually finished November's, which was the Book of Ruth, and I'm still on 1 Samuel. Probably do some of that in December, and then 2 Samuel in January. Um, so later on tonight, today, I'm actually going to be writing 1 Samuel. Um, right now, I've been reading through it and looking at my notes. So I will share a little bit of the start of 1 Samuel with you today, um, just to let you know where I'm going with it, Lord willing, and um, just give you some of the heading information. So, the birth of Samuel. According to biblical scholars, the first and second book of Samuel formed one book in the ancient Hebrew manuscripts. They were not divided into two books until the Old Testament was translated into the Greek language. We do not know who wrote the books, certainly. We know Samuel was a major contributor, but most of the book takes place after his death, which takes place in the first book of Samuel. And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran, which we will see in 1 Samuel 25:1 in the King James Version. So it'll be a bit. So all the story up to 1 Samuel 25:1, we assume, was written or greatly influenced by Samuel. And then after that, written by others who came after him. They're called the books of 1 and 2 Samuel, not because he wrote all of them, but because of they describe his great ministry in Israel and the legacy of it. And F.B. Meyer wrote, Samuel the prophet thus practically bridges the gulf between Samson the judge and David the king. And there is deep significance in the fact that his name is identified with the two books of Scripture which describe this great transition period, every event of which was affected by his influence. That was F.B. Meyer. So we'll start out when we get going on the study. 1 Samuel 1. 1 Samuel 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathah Zophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkin, the son of Jeraham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph in Ephratite. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. This man went up out of his city yearly to worship and sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. The two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb. And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret because the Lord had shut up her womb. And as he did so year by year, when he went up to the house of the Lord, so he promised her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am I not better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by the post of the temple of the Lord. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and wept sore. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thy handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man child, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken. And Eli said unto her, How long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. And Hannah answered and said, No, my lord, I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Could not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial? For out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hitherto. Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, the God of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou ask of him. And she said, Let thine handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. So anyway, we see this shaping up, and I'm going to do some more studies and share more with you as they come, with the Lord willing. I really look forward to this one and look forward to sharing with you. God bless and have a great day. Bye.